Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up on these videos. Here's my instant reaction to Kalen Deboer and his press conference here at the University of Alabama. First of all, thought he knocked it out of the park, honestly. Very polished speaker, said all the right things. Clearly, from the jump, he thanked Coach Saban and said that he welcomes his daily input. And I think that is really important. He knows his place. I got a sense to understand, like, he's coming in and he understands that he hasn't done anything at Alabama. And everything that has been built by Alabama, he hasn't built one thing. This is his first day on the job. I thought coming in this press conference, there was some points that he had to hit on. He's going to talk to the media later today, talking about, specific questions, defense, recruiting, and he's going to address those issues. But in terms of the welcome, I thought he knocked it out of the park, to be honest. I really like him as a speaker. Earlier, I told you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited am I about this hire? Said 7 out of 10. If I would have seen a little bit more fire, I probably would have went 9 out of 10. I'm up to an 8 out of 10 right now. What could elevate that is the coaching staff that he builds around him. So what we understand right now, when you go to Alabama football, like their official roster, it only lists him as the head football coach. From what we gather and what we know and what we learned today, you have T-Rob, Travaris Robinson, has taken the DB spot for Georgia. Okay, that was a loss. We've talked about that. We've explained why. We felt that if he was retained, it would have been a big win for the players. With that said, it's Kalen's team, and now he can do what he wants in terms of the coaches. So where do you go? So it looks like there is some smoke to Ryan Grubb coming to the University of Alabama. Now, he was the offensive coordinator under Kalen Deboer at Washington and did a fantastic job. In fact, Grubbs is somebody that Alabama wanted last season, decided to stay at Washington. As you can see, he knew that they had a loaded squad coming back. That is speculation at this point. We haven't learned anything about the new coaches, but we did hear some more positive news in terms of Jamarcus Shepard being brought in, and he is the wide receiver coach that was also at Washington. So you could potentially see a couple new guys from Washington on the staff here at the University of Alabama. We are tracking coaching updates, and we will have more breaking news regarding the staff and what he builds here at Bama Football on YouTube. As we spoke about this morning, Courtney Morgan is a name to know, GM, if you will, and that is a position that I'm really curious about. A lot of people are also talking about Jarrett McClain, expected to be joining the staff in terms of the player personnel department. So more news, okay? There's a lot to keep up with, and we keep you posted right here at Bama Football on YouTube. The transfer portal. Roydell Williams hit the transfer portal after the Rose Bowl. Very seasoned running back at the University of Alabama, right here out of Hueytown. He has decided to transfer to Florida State. Florida State has picked up now 4 transfers from the University of Alabama. Roydell Williams, Earl Little Jr., Malik Benson, and Terrence Ferguson. I think all those guys are good additions, honestly, for the Seminoles. I think all those guys will be starters at Florida State, and we wish those guys well. Earl Little had a really good tape. As you saw, his pops was talking about him on social media, and it wasn't just a tape. Like, the guy is really good. I think he would have contributed this year in 2024. Roydell Williams had the extra year, but when you have Jam Miller and Justice Haynes coming back, we all know who the running backs are going to be. Terrence Ferguson thought he could potentially be the center here at the University of Alabama, and he goes on to Florida State as well. Malik Benson played in over 500 snaps this past season at Alabama. Think he has a good upside. In my opinion, dropped a couple passes this last year, but moves on, and Alabama's wide receivers are in good shape. Now, another name that we are certainly continuing to track is Isaiah Bond. Okay, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the entire country. From what we gather, he is visiting Texas. He is in Austin, giving the Longhorns a look. And that would be a gigantic loss. So if you are Kalen Deboer right now, you got to figure out a way to retain him, make him feel at home, show him the plan. And keeping him would be monumental for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Same thing with Caleb Downs. We haven't heard any movement other than what we know, that he was following guys on social media or whatever. Besides that, haven't seen an official announcement from Caleb Downs that he's entering the transfer portal. As far as we know, he's on the roster. Two in the portal, though, from the defensive side of the ball. You have Antonio Kite. And again, I'm cutting this video at 1:50 p.m. Central Time, so there could be more news that follows as we go forward. So you have Antonio Kite and you have Dezz Ricks. Look, the significant piece of news here is that Dezz Ricks, former 5-star, and I don't know if he was going to be a starter here at the University of Alabama. Think about the fact that you have Damani Jackson coming in, and then you also have Trey Amos coming in. So competition makes the product better. We don't know what's going to happen with Dezz Ricks. And just because these players enter the transfer portal doesn't mean that they can't pop back out of the transfer portal. So Kalen Deboer got to win over the team. I'm sure he's going to be working on that. And we'll see what unfolds in the next couple of days. There's a lot of names to track. We got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. I want to get your take inside the comment box. You listen to Kalen Deboer speak. What stood out for you in the press conference? What were some key points that he hit on? What would you like to see addressed going forward? What do you want to see from the staff? Is there anyone from the staff that you want to see potentially retained? Clearly, if Grubbs comes in from Washington, that means that Tommy Rees is likely out and that Alabama would have another offensive coordinator for the second consecutive year. And how would that play into the quarterbacks? How is that going to play into the running backs, wide receivers? Curious to understand how all of that goes. From the transfer portal, I want to get your take. Any of the guys going to Florida State, are those major losses in your opinion? Roydell Williams, Earl Little Jr., Malik Benson, T. Ferg, are we missing out on any of those guys when any of those guys made an impact at Alabama? I know it's tough to think about. It's hypothetical because we're going into a new season. Isaiah Bond, what's your gut telling you? What do you feel? I want to get your take inside the comment box. Do you think he transfers out of Alabama, or do you think Alabama is able to retain him? And then with the additional portal additions in Antonio Kite and Dezz Ricks, what's the impact of losing those guys on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the biggest impact, 1 being the least. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Again, fam, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much for being a part of this 100,000 subscriber club right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys' continued support. We got nonstop coverage. We got the press conference. We got instant reaction videos. We got tons of content coming your way and all the time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. My name is Kyle Henderson. And run the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys being here. So hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and we'll be back as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube.